Okay, Assalamualaikum and very good afternoon to everyone. My name is Arif, and today I'll be presenting about the purpose of media, as you can see here. And before I dive into my slides, so what is the purpose of media? So basically, the purpose of media is when how does the media benefit from the audience and of course the producers of media, like the encoding message and the decoding message. The encoding message meaning the media productions themselves, and the decoding message is the languages from the audience itself. So let's dive into it. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to discuss about is to persuade. So how does the purpose of media persuade? So here's are some of the categories here. We have commercial, we have advertisements, there's magazines, even YouTube, and I'll get into why YouTube belongs in every category. And last but not least, newspapers nowadays to persuade people and the general audience in a layman's term. So, okay, this is the reasons. So, we need to ask ourselves why is commercial, advertisement, magazines, YouTube, and newspapers are in these types of form, in these types of medias, and like what are the semantics and the semiotics behind it for media language. So commercial, how does it persuade people? Well, it persuades the customers usually, like I said here, to buy something from the product or the brand that they're promoting. Like commercial and advertisement, they're similar, but in the long run, they're different because commercial, we could see it as a picture movement, we could see it as a 3D movement, whereas advertisements is everywhere, which I'll get touch later. So yeah, that's the meaning of the commercial. They promote stuff, they generate stuff. And as for advertisements, they want to get the word out. They want to get the brand out in a much larger scales. Like for example, commercials only TV and YouTube, right? But for advertisement, you guys got to understand that it involves, say, the bus. It involves, say, in the billboards, in the movies, those extra ads that you see on YouTube, which I will get into later. Uh, you see them in everywhere you go, posters, banners, taglines, or promotional stations or music videos. They also have slight advertisements between one or two. So yes, they want to get the word out. They want to have the brand in a first class way, you know. So basically, for magazines, well, magazines, in order to persuade people, they want the readers to invest in something. Like you want to attract them with words. And how does the word convey the messages, verbally or non-verbally? What does the picture say in every magazines? And of course, lastly, we have second last, YouTube. Okay, YouTube, I'm going to explain with everyone that it is a platform that is versatile. It can be used for three things: to persuade, to inform, and thus, of course, to entertain. And yes, firstly, you persuades the viewers into take interest in something. For example, if you're interested in, say, gaming, you search online and you search for gameplays. You search, it'll make you invest and you want to know more about the games, you know, and it feels like you want to grab the game now and play in your console or your PC. Or if you want to, like, say, go to trailers, or you're invested in that trailer, you're interested in that trailer, you feel like you want to watch that movie right now. So that is YouTube. It's to persuade. And of course, we have newspapers, basically, like to have various sections where there's text to speech, and the advertisements or news or the hot trendy topics that people want to invest or read on. For example, in terms of the codes of media in there, you get to see a headline, what's the current trending news, like COVID-19, the pandemic, what persuade the readers, what invest in the readers, you know, on how they engage with the audience and the people around them. So moving on, we have to inform. We have newspapers, which is local press news, of course, either be it local or international. Then we have Nat Geo, which is National Geographic. And of course, you have Discovery, which is Discovery Channel. And last but not least, you also have YouTube. YouTube, basically, the platform here, to discuss or to say, okay, yeah, YouTube. Let's get into it. Okay, so again, the reasons for newspapers when they want to inform, the section where newspapers shows like statistics or because of the author's point of view, to inform someone, to say, to give the statistics, the list, the facts. Well, what is there in that words? It doesn't just involve words; it involves numbers as you read the page long. And next we have National Geographic. So what do we understand from National Geographic? It is to understand the knowledge and the geography and the creatures living on Earth. Because as a child growing up with Astro, I've watched National Geographic before. It mainly explores the ecosystem. It mainly explores the Earth and the globally worldwide, and also how they convey on how humans or natures, basically the flora and fauna living within that space. And the thirdly is discovery. For example, like Discovery Channels. Discovery Channels is more to the general knowledge or the expansion of science and how things are made from natural resources to man-made. You can see that with raw materials transformed into cars. You can see that from, how do you say, smashing rocks and how the minerals collide with each other, how it manifested, how discoveries to be made, and how food was processed. All this is to like inform us, to give us facts and on basically the science and the nerd geek culture and how to say widen our minds and our brains and how to understand this science. Because I used to be a science student myself back in school and experienced a bit, teeny tiny bit from my friends in the engineering field. You get to see that more with Discovery Channel, and it can also relate to National Geographic. Like these two have interrelations together. Also, yeah, the last point is YouTube. It's a platform to find out about information, what the YouTubers point out. Because sometimes, like, they also need to get their facts straight. Because sometimes the article that they give us, the sources that they come from, it is, in my opinion, also facts. It is on how they convey the message. It is how they appear factual from one YouTuber to another YouTuber. Because, like, I agree that some might not be 100% accurate because it's just opinions. But if we have the right resources, in my opinion, it will be known as facts. Say forums, not those Reddit forums, but say the IGN.com news, the GameSpot news, the um, Fox News, the BBC website. All this the YouTubers can point out within their video. And last but not least, here's my favorite part, which is to entertain. So yeah, entertainment has many stuff ranging from Pokemons to movies to comics to YouTube to even commercial. Because as you can see here, this is Ash and Pikachu, Pokemon, movies, comic books, Amazing Fantasy, Spider-Man, YouTube's, and of course the commercial of Pringles. So let's dive into it, dive deep into it. Okay, so the reasons to this. So Pokemon. Well, why I chose all these categories entertainment, because Pokemon, when the first thing that pops up into my mind as Pokemon is that it's all about games and TV show, and people are just there for the thrills and the fun of it. Because from my perspective point of view, I started Pokemon with their anime TV show. Like me and my brother grew up watching that in TV3, in TV9, in TV7. We really enjoy the anime of Pokemon, and at the same time, simultaneously, we enjoy the Game Boy of it. We play a few Pokemon games here and there in our Nintendo Game Boy, and we grew up on it. And fast forward now, it even has a movie of Pokemon, which is Detective Pikachu. Speaking of movies, people enjoy the movie because they want to enjoy the CGI, they want to enjoy the effects of media language, what it can bring to the table. Like not necessarily have to be a action-packed movie. It could be any genre of movie. It could be romance. It could be a music type movie like Whiplash. It could be, say, a cultural movie like a Chinese made movie, an Indian made movie, all ranging within various types of diversities. Could be movies relating to religion, to Islam or to Christian or to any, regardless, as an example, to any other movies. As for comic books, for me, I read comic book because it is interesting and I get to know the characters and the flow of the storyline. Say, for example, my favorite comic book, which is the Robin Wars, which is Batman's sidekick. Batman has 5 Robins and how they grew up as a character of their own, such as being Nightwing or being Red Hood or being Red Robin, and of course Batman's son, Robin himself, how he grows. So that's just my example of how to interpret comics, and maybe the audience have their different types of comics that entertain them, and just for the sole purpose of entertainment, to know the story better. And yes, last but not least, YouTube, like I said, it is very versatile and it belongs to all 3 categories. I've explained on how to persuade, how to inform. Now is to entertain people. Well, people entertain through YouTube, say, for example, like to create content like YouTube Rewind, to stream games, like, for example, like to stream Among Us or Fall Guys, or even, Animal Crossing. They stream it on a YouTube platform and use it if they don't have Twitch. And lastly, we go to commercials. Now, why I don't include advertisement here is because advertisement is broad. Commercial are usually seen in TVs and YouTube to pass the time or to make ad revenues, because people sometimes can see it as a comedy relief or just to pass the time. And yeah, I think that would be all for me. So if you guys have any questions, do leave a comments below. And thank you, and I will see you again in my next video. And if you guys have any questions, just ask me anytime. Thank you.